Alright, now we're back at the monitor. We're going to replace that power supply board back in the unit and test it all out. First we need to connect the logic board, then our AC input board. Now you need to put the screws back in. You do need to make sure that you have all of the screws back in, even for testing purposes, because the unit uses the screws for grounding, so that the power supply is grounded to the chassis. And if you don't put all the screws back, there's a slight chance of electrical shock hazard, and so you don't want to chance it. Go ahead and put all the screws back in. Alright, we have that. Now gently rotate while we have it up. If you want, you can go ahead and poke the cables back through. Okay, we can lay this down. Go ahead and plug in our backlight connectors. And plug in the control cable to the control board on the other end. Alright, now just to test it, we don't have to do the full assembly, put the shield on and the back on and so forth if you're careful. Just get your power cable, plug your power cable into the adapter. You do need to keep your fingers away from the open end of the monitor. Now you can lift up the monitor assembly, and as you see, it says check cable. So we are getting power to the monitor now, as we were not before. So we can go ahead and lay the unit back down flat and unplug the power cable and finish our reassembly of the monitor now that we know everything is working. So I'll say next thing we need to do here is put on the RF shield. You can lift up the monitor slightly, separate it from the frame so that the shield goes around the end of the monitor, and then just put the tape back so that the shield stays in place, and then lower the monitor back in. If you didn't already, just tape down the control cable. And now we'll just put the cover back on, and it just snaps around the edges. Those little catches will snap back into place. And now we should have a fully working monitor. After you reassemble it, plug the power back in just to make sure. We have a power light and we have our display. So you have a working monitor. Now you can mount it back onto your stand, reconnect your cables, and hook it back up to your computer. Another one saved from the recycle bin. It's a lot cheaper repairing the monitor than buying a new one.